Test, 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 test,
Hello.
test, 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 test.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, you're good. Welcome to Robcity episode 72. My name is Robby Gonzales. I'm your host, and with me, as usual, is my co-host, Camilo.
What's up? How you guys doing? Good to be back.
Yeah?
I'm glad I didn't get.
You're close.
Really? He's too busy.
I needed you to, I was like, you know what, let me put him on his toes. Hey, take a week,
Didn't put me on my toes at all.
Hey, take a week off, bud.
No, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it, to be honest, no. I wasn't, not at all. And Joe's too busy.
Yeah, Joe would be. Well, Joe's, I think, a longer drive, too, and then.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
You wouldn't make it.
But no, dude, Joe's episode I really enjoyed.
It was good.
It was fun. You got to be here, you the audience. Just something we were just talking about, the food thing. So I'm starving. I've been eating since 9 this morning, and it's Hot Pocket for breakfast. Yeah,
Breakfast Hot Pocket?
No.
Damn.
No, well, the thing is, I'm out of groceries,
Yeah.
and I thought I was going to go home this weekend. So I was like, well,
Last weekend? The weekend?
This weekend.
Oh, are you not going home this
I
weekend?
don't think so.
Why not?
I don't know. I just didn't feel like it.
Oh, okay.
Plus, I have to go home next weekend anyway, because my sister needs help moving.
Okay.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Anyway, I was super hungry, so I went and picked up McDonald's, and I got a large Dr. Pepper. And have you ever noticed okay, you can notice coffee will jump you up. I've never noticed soda doing it to me until a couple months now.
Yeah.
To where I'm like, oh, I could use a soda just to boost me up a little bit. I don't need a Red Bull. I don't need a coffee. A soda will just do the trick. I look rough, dude. Now I just thought about it. Because I like to shave before because this just makes me look unkept, and my hair probably looks bad too. I'm just it's cold.
I think I would have mentioned it. I think
Are you?
It is,
cold?
dude. It's freezing.
I'm so cold.
I think it's cold. I don't know if it's cold everywhere, but there's a cold front that's taking over.
Yeah,
Houston's cold.
2/3 of the country I think is super cold.
Sure. It's freezing. That's why we're wearing this. Do you have the heat on at all?
No.
Not at
I
all.
have it off. I have everything off.
Nice. That's pretty badass.
Why?
Okay. I did that last winter. It's hard. Have you ever gone a winter without the heater?
Yeah,
It's pretty hard,
I
dude.
think
It's tough.
not at home, but my old apartments. I think I did.
Dude, it gets hard. It's really hard.
Whatever.
I don't know. Maybe it's not that hard, but it's pretty uncomfortable.
What's my point? Oh yeah, I have the Dr. Pepper. So that's why I'm up today. I'm up. Energy's up because I have a Dr. Pepper. I've been thinking a lot about being a host, and it's what is I've been watching a lot of I don't even know, YouTube late night shit you watch the talk show hosts and best guest or this guest did this or just doing that or what are your responsibilities as a host. And I was just thinking about it. I'm well, if I want to be Fallon, I have to make this. I have to put 100% energy in and be happy and ha 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 ha. And but I was thinking, I'm well, I'm not like that every episode. But sometimes I do try to bring energy and bring fun to the episode. But that's all based on how I'm feeling that day or that week, really. So leading up to the episode. So I was thinking to myself, I'm well, what kind of host am I? Am I low energy, sarcastic, or am I high energy, fun? I'm well, it's really depending on that week, and so I don't think I should pigeonhole my hosting ability or my hosting persona to just one kind of constant host. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can I fluctuate?
Yeah. I think first off, I think fluctuating is a good thing. It depends.
I need a hat, dude. I need a hat.
He's gonna go grab a hat, but he's listening, I think. Fluctuating is it's a good thing only. I mean, there's a constant that you need to have, because people are gonna come watch you every night or watch you every week or however often you do it.
Mm-hmm.
They need to come back and they're busy and have real lives and stuff. So if you don't make it relatively simple enough for them to be oh, this is who David Letterman is or Jimmy Fallon is. That's why Jimmy Fallon almost makes it too simple. It's exactly a dog knows who Jimmy Fallon is. It's easy. But so fluctuating, I don't think it's bad. You can't really tell if Jimmy Fallon's having a good day or a bad day.
Yeah.
And that's bad, I think. But I do think something that's probably just learned, but either you have to learn or is just learned like throughout the career of a host like that. Is that like when it happens to be showtime, especially for like these late nights hosts, I think they hit into like some sort of like energy or some sort of like personality, like where they kind of are similar every day. Not, especially with like a good host, they'll bring in like if they're mad or if like they're like there's a huge scandal that they're cheating on their wife or some crazy stuff like that, then like they'll definitely somehow like involve that, but like they're still like David Letterman or Craig Ferguson. Like you still have to have like you got to be the same guy. Which
I understand that.
I guess is just being genuine.
Yeah. Authentic.
Yeah.
What I heard a good word this week was authenticity. Is like how you go about being. I don't know. People like authenticity, and so like I think that's what I bring, and that's what I guess you could kind of summarize that up to where like every week I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to be the same. I'm not going to be a constant, but I'm going to be authentic to like I'm going to host a show. I'm always going to put effort into hosting a show. But if I feel like low energy or down, then I'll kind of convey that into the show somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whatever, it's just a thought I had. What happened to Chica? Did you ever see her again? I'm pretty sure you went and tried to see her again. Did you ever see her again?
I can't remember exactly where we ended off in the story, but
yeah, the story was. I'll recap for you.
Yeah, I love when you recap it because Joe. Just to give the people real quick, like I think we told Joe the story after the podcast last week. Was that what? But I let Robs tell it, and he didn't laugh at the punchline, like at all. I don't know if it's because the way you set it up. Maybe
Joe
that's what it was. Yeah, like you when you first said or like recap the story, but I want to hear you tell it again.
Basically, you can listen to this in episodes 71, 72, 70, 69. No, 69 was me solo. 68.
68? Okay.
Damn, 4 episodes?
Jesus.
Ago? I do 2 episodes a week.
Yeah.
You do. 68. Let me get some DP.
Gotta get the DP in.
Yeah. So Camilo was with his buddies. They were getting some wine. He was getting a sandwich. He goes up to this hot Latina woman, brown. Oh. Anyway, he walks up to the counter where he orders a sandwich and they check out. She's a hot chick. What's your name? He's like, Camilo. She's like, what? He goes, Camilo. Oh, Spanish. Blah, 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 blah. ¿Cómo estás? Bien, y tú? Anyway, so they're speaking Spanish. She's like, how do you speak so well Spanish? And she's like, my boyfriend's Argentinian. Camilo sighs. His buddy's like a sighs. Like, Camilo goes, I guess I'll just have the sandwich then. Bam, hit her with that one. Anyway, so she laughs. She does like this cute little routine to make a sandwich. Flirts with Camilo a little more. Camilo goes back and sees her like another day. Goes back and like she's not working a day. Basically, he's just trying to recreate the meet cute, I think is they call it.
That's not. I don't know the what.
The meet cute.
Damn, I have heard of that.
It's fine. Anyway, yeah, it was a robocall. Sorry, YouTube. You'll have to. Damn, that's gonna screw up my editing too. Whatever. So anyway, Camilo put a lot of effort into this, and then he wanted to go back and like ask her out, even though she had a boyfriend. Never saw her again though.
No, not really. I think so. Yeah, the story ended on that the first encounter, then I saw her again the second time. I saw her 3 times, and then the last time I did. So I never really. Yeah, no, I didn't see her.
So I'm in a little predicament with a female myself.
Are you?
In a sense of how much, like, now I'm almost exactly where your spot is, except like I know this woman. Like you don't really know this woman.
I don't. Yeah.
So my point is like, how much do you have to try and be persistent to like get a girl to like go out with you? When do you stop? When do you like, hey, what's up, girl? You cute, and then she doesn't like respond to it at all? Like when do you like say, I'm out? I don't know why I'm doing this persona, but I am.
I kind of
I'm out. girl, like deuces. But or when you like, come on, girl, like I'm cool. Dude, I don't know what.
It kind of was. Whatever that was, I kind of liked it, and you took me to a place somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know what, like it was almost like animated somehow, but
Thanks.
whatever.
Thank you.
It's not that big of a-
No,
But-
thank you so much.
What was I getting at?
When do you stop?
I think it definitely depends on like. Well, first off, like she has to give you some sort of like signals, and it also depends on like how much you like her, and like all those scenarios, like all those things are really important. Like how
She cute.
okay, but have you said that?
Yeah.
And she what? Like gives you
Didn't
something at all,
respond
nothing
very
at all.
well. I mean, she gave me some. I mean, she didn't like, ew, fuck off.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't get that.
Then all right.
But my point is like, how do I? I'm gonna do it regardless, and then maybe I'll get a clear message of like, hey, I'm not interested. But I just want to just run that by you, I guess, in a sense of like, you have to be some kind of persistent to show that you actually like want this woman.
Definitely.
But there's just a weird line, dude. There's just a weird line of like, okay, you went too far. Okay, get the hint. And I mean, who's that on? I mean, I think it's on both parties of like, I can't take a hint or she can't give a hint. But she really can't like, put me down like that. I don't know. I think it's we'll see. I think you're gonna help me craft a text after this.
Okay, but have you like what are we at right now? You just like her. You've kind of texted a couple things, but have you even asked her?
Dude,
on a
I
date
shot
or
a
something?
shot. I shot a shot.
Okay.
I shot 2 shots.
Like that, the shooting, like asking her on a date is like not the biggest shot you can, but it's like a big shot.
Calling
It's
her
a big
cute
shot.
is a shot, right?
Yes,
It's
for
means
sure.
you're interested. Okay, I shot 1, and then my second one. I don't know how like. She definitely doesn't listen to my fucking podcast, so it's like, so I can say whatever I want almost.
Can't even get like our good friends.
Listen. She tweeted something of like, need someone to like lay in bed with me and like watch cartoons and like hold me as I relive every embarrassing moment or whatever. I tweeted back at her in public, sup.
Okay.
That, and I haven't gotten a response. And that was like last night.
Yeah. Well, cause that one.
That could be construed as he's just kidding.
Yeah.
And it's in public.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is my next move here, and this is where I'm worried because it's like 1 shot, kind of half a shot. So my full shot on the sup message would be, here's my application. I'm warm. Like, I love Bugs Life. We can watch Bugs Life. Like,
I guess, but you still thinking in public? Is that?
no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
It'd be personal.
Then there you go. That's what I was gonna say too. The next one, it has to be like a DM or something.
No, it's gonna be a text. It's
Okay.
It's just gonna be. It's
Perfect.
gonna
Even better.
screenshot, I guess, her tweet that I even responded to, and just be like, hey, at least listen to my application.
I love it. I think
That's
it's
the
great.
move.
I think it's great. Also, yeah, that is definitely the shot though. Like if you don't make it, it's over. And then if you do, then it's it. But that's it. Like that's those are the shots you kind of got to take. You put out a couple. What was the? Did you? Like I always said with the Cuban girl that like the vibes I would get, like if I ever got the vibe where because I went back one time and ordered a sandwich again and wanted to see what she did, and if she just threw it back in there like pissed, then I would right away get the point that
But
she
you
was.
never got that.
But I never got that. So what did she say? Like the first couple pointers, like was it really great reactions or like not?
No, it's like.
Because that also depends. Sometimes you got if you're not getting much, then you might just need to go like. Not I don't mean like creepy or anything, but pretty forward. Like
That's what I mean.
what
I
you're
think
doing.
that's what.
And if you've gotten a couple of good positive vibes, then maybe you should like play it cooler. But I don't know.
I
what the
totally
situation
agree, and I think I'm right in the middle. I think I'm playing a good game, a good offense and defense.
She doesn't listen for
I
sure.
don't think so.
Ah,
But if she does, fuck it.
that's awesome.
Now she knows again. I gotta shoot the freaking text before
Yeah,
this
she's
comes out.
nervous. She's ready.
What else do we have? Okay, so we talked about girls a little bit. I wanted to talk about like obsessive traits, I guess. And like I find myself to be kind of obsessive in a sense of like, if something interests me, I try to like consume the entire thing. It's like binge watching something.
Yeah.
You watch like you find a good series on Netflix and you just want to watch the entire thing and like figure out the entire story of everyone's character, blah blah blah. Can you name a show that you were obsessed with? It's easy, just a show that you binged.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or a show.
That I like.
So even like, I'll give an example. I guess Community, the show Community, I talked about a little bit.
Recently, you binged that one or what?
Yeah, so I binged it, and then I went to YouTube and I watched the bloopers, and then I went to YouTube and watched like behind the scenes of like the entire series of like what the characters were like together behind the scenes, who had the drama, what was the showrunner, Dan Harmon, like what was his thoughts on this character, like when they did this episode. So it's like I just like totally immersed myself into every detail that happened about this show. Can you name a show that you've ever just like were just wow?
I wish I'm sure I can think of like a good one like that. The one I can think of recently is Love Island, which was like not that recent, but I did whenever I found that one, I like watched a shitload of that one. Like a ton. But I think that's normal, and I think that's like tied to depression somehow. Honestly, not to get too weird, but
Yeah, I mean,
like I just think it was some weird like moment where but whatever. Like you can watch a shitload of Love Island, bro. You can just watch that back to back to back to back. There's tons of them, but I'm trying to think of a good.
What
show
made you like? So let me give you a better example. So like Star Wars and Game of Thrones, they have this entire world to work with, and there's so many just flung out details of this race and this planet and this battle and this Jedi and that Dark Lord and this and that, and so it's like you don't get the whole story, you just get bits and pieces of this entire universe. And so like Game of Thrones, I like love Game of Thrones so much that I would go to like again YouTube and go to YouTube and be like, okay, what is the past of Game of Thrones? What's the history of all these people? And like YouTube people would just go into detail of like, oh, this is this family and this is how this family got its crest, and so like I totally immersed myself in like, wow, like this is how the Lannisters got their money, this is how the battle, this is why this guy's such a revered warrior because he did so great at this battle. Like, have you ever been obsessed with a TV show in that sense?
For sure. Like, definitely. I think my all-time favorite show, which sounds ridiculous the more you grow up, but it was when I was a kid, was Prison Break.
Yeah.
I love that show. I love Michael Scofield so much. But like, even when you grow up and you watch it like 2 or 3 times later, and people start making fun of how like he had tattoos of the like, I didn't realize that was funny until like I was like
older.
20, like way older. I didn't realize that like he came in there with a map of the prison on his, and I thought that was genius until someone made fun of it, and then I was like, oh. Yeah, it's not that great.
It's kind of derivative, but movie? Was there a movie you've ever been totally just... Mine's gonna be Pulp Fiction, just because, like, that was one of the first rated R movies I watched.
Yeah.
And I watched it with my dad, and, like, he always said it was his favorite movie, so I was like, oh, it's my favorite movie too, let me watch it 10 times in a row, and let me, like... And so, like, in high school, my buddy, shout out Chris Bell, Chris and his brother Nick we'd be at football practice and be like, all right, like it's Thursday, you know what that means, Pulp Fiction trivia. And so like ask me trivia question about Pulp Fiction and I just like nail it.
Damn.
And so it's like a movie I got obsessed with because it was so weird and it was so like confusing that if you spent the time watching every scene and understanding the little bits and pieces of like how the story connects, you were like, oh that's awesome. And so do you have a movie you've ever been obsessed with?
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean probably.
Oh, it's not a bad pick.
I loved that movie when I was a kid. I still do.
Just the first one, or did you?
Yeah. I mean, I watched like the second one. I gave it, but no, it's just the first.
Celebrities. This could be girls too. Celebrity girls, like you just
can't be girls.
I've already talked about mine. I don't know if I want to talk about mine again. Like my celeb crushes. I've talked about my celeb crushes like a bunch.
Yeah, a bunch. I'm trying to think.
I'm gonna abstain from this one just because can't give them too much airtime.
I don't know. There's like different ones where it's just like there's some that are just crushes, which I think you talk about a lot. But I don't know. You like Katie Nolan and stuff.
Fuck, dude.
She's been killing it recently. Did you see? She did great.
Yeah.
She's really cool.
She's great.
Yeah, she's really nice.
Also, Kristen Press. So.
But that's like Kristen. See, that's what I was about to bring up. Is there's like different little celeb crushes. There's like I think Kristen Press is purely. I don't know. Maybe that's not true because I guess she seems like she seems like she has a cool personality. But I thought like Kristen Press was just purely like physical or sexual, however you want to put it. Katie Nolan is like she's a pretty girl, definitely, no doubt. But yeah, like she has a whole combo of one of mine would be Issa Rae, but it's not because she's like just the hottest girl in the world.
I don't know who that is. She was an actress.
Yeah, but she made Insecure. I don't know if you
Insecure,
the HBO show.
Oh, that's who you're really into?
She's awesome.
Interesting. She's talented. I've seen.
Yeah, she's great. She's like, kind of like.
Interesting, dude. That says a lot about you.
She's cool. She's really great. That show's awesome. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen the first episode.
It's kind of like Atlanta, which is kind of.
Well, I'm sorry.
A controversial thing to say, but it's not good. Or not controversial. I don't know. I don't think it's very woke to compare Atlanta to Insecure to black shows.
We're woke.
I can't come up with more than that.
We're so woke.
But they're very like, yeah, damn, dude, I can't get out of this. All I'm trying to say is Atlanta and Insecure are really good shows, but it's gonna sound like I'm saying like, oh wow, two black writers like were able to come up with a like good theme finally, like Jesus. But no, that's all I'm saying. She's awesome. So she's one of them. Zendaya's an obvious one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I saw like something with an interview with Zendaya. I was like, she's
amazing.
But staying on track with the obsessive thing, like music. Have you ever just like found a band and then listened to every single one of their like songs?
Yeah, but more days, dude. See, the weird thing, like as you were asking me about TV shows, and I couldn't come up with one. The weird thing that's happening more with like the way technology is working is that like with music, instead of like a band or an album that I'll do a song, Disturbia by Rihanna. Have you heard that song?
Yeah.
I listened to that song. I stopped. It's over. But that was like the longest I've ever been.
Obsessed
and it was
song.
like obsessed in a way that I've like bum bum be dum. I would wake up with bum bum be dum.
Yeah.
Bum bum bum. And I was just like, I needed to listen to it in my car like at least 10 times before I could be like, all right, dude, just play it different. It was great. But so I do that with songs more now. So like what you showed me, dude, that kind of, I don't know if it helped or.
Oh yeah, those songs
on repeat. That's
yeah,
shit.
on repeats.
Dude, I can't get out of that.
Overpowered.
Yeah, I can't get out of it. But so one thing I'll do with like back is like instead of TV shows, movies you still kind of do like a good movie you'll do it with, but like TV shows, what I do now is like I'll find people and like whether they're like, I guess they're YouTubers, but mostly they're just comedians. And like what I normally tend to do is I hate them at first for some reason because they're like new. Like Joe Rogan will introduce a new guy and I'll be like, I don't like the way he looks.
Yep.
And then I'll learn to like him. That's what I do. And you obsess over him at the end. Like not obsess over him, but you end up like learning everything about him.
Yeah.
And like the way
That's
he
exactly
talks.
what I'm talking about.
So it's like I do that now with I could name like 5 new people that I've like done that with compared with not TV shows. Like I've done that with Theo Vaughn. I've done that with Andrew Schultz. I haven't done that with Crystal Lee that much. I still don't like him that much, but people like him. He's great. He's very funny.
That's exactly what I'm talking about in this sense of like, so my music was Oasis, and like I watched the Hot Ones with Sean Evans.
Oh yeah.
Noel Gallagher, who's like the primary writer for the band and like the bassist, I guess. He wasn't the lead singer. So Oasis is one of those bands. They're a UK band, and like you don't know too much about them. You know, like a couple songs. So I saw him on Hot Ones, and he was eating hot wings or whatever. And I'm like, man, I know nothing about Oasis. Let me like Wikipedia page them. And so you get on their Wikipedia page, and you start like looking at their like history of the band, and like, oh, the brothers kind of feuded and they broke up.
Yeah.
Oh, Noel Gallagher wrote the entire 3 first albums, which were the most successful albums of Oasis. Oh, Noel Gallagher wrote like Live Forever. They released it 3 months after Kurt Cobain's death. Like you just like learn so much about the band, and you just ingest it, and you're like, oh, this album is considered one of the greatest UK albums of all time compared to Beatles. Like compared to the Beatles, and so like you listen to
Beatles.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The Beatles.
So it's like something amazing happened, and I feel like I missed out on it in my world, in my universe. and so like I just immerse myself with Oasis. So
that's a new one you did recently, Oasis.
That was like a month or two ago, but I don't know. The point of this whole like little segment, this episode really is. Sometimes I feel like I've missed something, or something has been undervalued, or something has been overlooked, and I really want to know everything about what happened. And I do that a lot with history. I need to do it more with history.
Yeah.
But when like you find out something about history, like someone mentioned like the Aaron Burr letters to Alexander Hamilton, or Alexander Hamilton's letters to Burr's wife, and apparently there was like a freaking affair. Alexander Hamilton had an affair with Burr's wife, and like you read these letters, and like people were blackmailing him to do stuff and to spend money this way and to do this, and it's just part of history that was so interesting that I've never heard of. So I just like to immerse myself in something I don't know, and that's you can do it with music, movies, TV shows, video games. Have you ever done that with a video game? Just like
yeah, dude, for sure. I remember one time I think I rented. It was back when you used to. Or I guess can you still rent games somehow?
Somehow, yeah.
I'm sure there's a way to do it, right? But I rented a game. Yeah, it was like one of the Assassin's Creeds. Not the first one probably, but like it definitely they weren't deep in it. It was like the second or third one. But and I couldn't get like there's this little practice thing that they make you do to be able to play the game.
Yeah.
So like you learn. I couldn't get past it. Like one of them was just like hide in line without getting caught. And I couldn't do it, and I was like yelling and throwing at the game. I just rented it. I'd spend like a whole day, but yeah, I've done that for sure. FIFA, but I'm actually good at FIFA.
Yeah.
I'm great at FIFA. You do it, right?
Obsessed with what?
Video games.
Yeah, but now that I'm thinking about it, is that I think it's the same thing, but the only like thing that was telling me it might not be the same thing is that's like practicing on something and you just want to get really good at it, which is the same thing as obsessing. It's like a sport. Like if you're a baseball player and you want to pitch, you're obsessed with getting better as a pitcher, so you're practicing. So I mean, it's the same thing as video games. So yeah, I mean, Fortnite's probably the most addictive I've ever been to a game. Ever. Anything else? Ideas. My last one was ideas. Have you ever obsessed over an idea?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna rattle a couple off.
Okay.
Tell me if you've ever like deep thought about it. We're in a simulation.
I don't know how deep I've thought about it, but
Aliens exist.
yeah, I've thought about it for sure.
You're in the Truman Show. Wait, that's the same thing as a simulation. I had one more. I had 3.
Oh, dude. Well, I guess with the simulation thing, I always used to think my parents. This is like a psychologist could definitely break this down somehow. But like, I used to always think my parents told everybody else, like, hey, like he's a little slow or something. So like, just be nice to him. Like I always used to think everybody was like
in on it.
In on it and acting like they were like I would get vibes where people were like like laugh fakingly before I told the punchline yet or like before I said the thing that I thought was funny because they were just like
I've got I know what you're
playing on, but not even with funny, just like with almost everything where it's like oh I don't know. I used to think my parents would do that, but
yeah, I can relate to that. Sometimes I thought people knew something that
I did it. Damn.
Yeah,
that one's scary.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, I turned it off for a second. Were we good?
Yeah.
Clipped off.
Yeah, we're good.
Perfect. Yeah. I do. That's scary. So yes, I thought about Truman Show, but not. The Truman Show's a more like well thought out way of like playing it. But.
Aliens, I've always thought like deep thought into alien, like obsessed over aliens. Like
yeah.
I don't think I've ever been too obsessed with the idea, but like I'm definitely like if someone brings it up in conversation, I'm in it. Like I'm like fucking believe like shit like that. Like I'm super behind the idea of it. But I don't know. I think that's the only ideas have been really just like you can obsess over an idea, right? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I thought you were gonna take it more of like your own ideas.
Oh, yeah. Right now, I'm kind of doing that with writing some stuff, but it's hard because it's like we don't have to get into my writing right now, but like you like think of something good and you're like, this is so good, and you sit down to write it, and you're writing it out, and you're writing it out, and then you look back of it and you're just like back over it and you're just like, oh, like I don't know if this works. I don't know if this is funny. And so that kind of obsession is like hard, like really, really hard. And that's what I've kind of run into right now. It's just like writing something, thinking it's good, and then waking up the next day and like, oh, I don't know if this works, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I need some help is what I need. But
yeah, that and like there's one thing Dave Chappelle said about ideas that I thought was always really cool that I try to remember, because I think everybody goes through that type of stuff with writing where you just like you have a good idea and then you look back at it and you're like, this is trash. And I do that with almost everything, so much so that I've gotten to the point where like I know like I can't think about it too much. Like if I write something down and I don't have the ability to try it, like with a long enough span, I'll like block it out of my head for a little bit because I was like, no, dude, you liked it when you first wrote it down. Well, you got to try it, so we'll go back to it and try it out. But like, don't obsess over it for like the 2 days that you've got, because then you'll ruin it. Does that make sense? Like you'll end up ruining your own idea. But what I was getting to with Dave Chappelle was that he said something cool about ideas where he's like, sometimes the idea will drive itself. Like sometimes you get in the car and you sit and you say like, okay, I gotta come up with like 5 jokes and we want to talk about like comedy or whatever, and like that's good, and like it's great discipline and beneficial. But the better like route is when the ideas drive. Like he brings up this car metaphor where he says like sometimes you're driving the car or sometimes the idea is driving the car, and you just have to like show up. But there's a couple little moments where I felt like like I had a good enough idea where the idea is driving the car, and even then sometimes you still like you ruin it yourself. Like you'll go back a day later and be like, that's not that good.
Do you have anything else on obsessed? I like this topic. This topic like made me like brought a lot out of us, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll throw it to break. We'll come back and do whatever we want. All right. Bye.
Recording. Mic's on, baby.
Test.
Hello.
We're back.
Back.
Let's get back into it. Hey Alexa.
Did you see that Alexa Jeopardy moment first? Yeah, or not, it wasn't Alexa, it was just actually on Jeopardy. It was so awesome, man. It was that, like the one guy had his last answer and he just didn't know it. So he put, "We love you, Alex."
Yeah, and he cried.
His voice broke. You know, fucking.
He cried.
His tear did. No, he didn't.
Hey Alexa, let's play Jeopardy.
That was beautiful though.
Whatever. I don't. Stuff like that don't affect me.
Oh my goodness.
Jeopardy. And now, here is your host, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny.
And welcome, players. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you so much for joining us again. Get ready for these clues.
Our first category is A Writer's Life for Me. This author of Elmer Gantry was the first American to win the Nobel Prize for Literature.
Who is Mark Twain? No.
That's not it. The correct response was, who is Sinclair Lewis?
Damn.
The second category is synonyms for black. A mammal of the weasel family, or a car model from the Mercury brand. Please give your response,
I don't know.
or I can
Ferret?
skip this clue. Which would you like?
Can you repeat the question?
Again, the category is synonyms for black. A mammal of the weasel family, or a car model from the Mercury brand.
No, I don't know.
What is a viper?
Yeah, I like it.
No, that's incorrect. The correct response was, what is sable? Our third Jeopardy category is the new news. In the name of an entertainment news source, it's what the letters TMZ stand for.
Yeah, I've never thought about it.
Please respond in the form of a question, starting with phrases like, who is or what is?
Tabloid.
You need to respond in the form of a
We
question.
got it, man. We got it. We don't know the answer.
You can also say, repeat, or I don't know, to skip the clue.
What is tabloid market zoo?
Ooh, I like zoo. I couldn't think of what the Z was.
Sorry, the correct response was, what is 30 Mile Zone?
Whoa.
Our next Jeopardy category is transportation terms. A type of table architects use, or the act of a cyclist riding close behind another, to lower wind resistance.
What is drafting?
You're right.
Damn.
Your
Fine.
fifth Jeopardy category is British history. A major pandemic of the plague, the Black Death, devastated England in this century.
What is the 14th century? That's
Correct.
Damn.
The next Jeopardy category is movie monsters. Kyle Chandler and Vera Farmiga starred in the 2019 big screen return for this, King of the Monsters.
What is Godzilla?
Good job.
Jeez.
Let's see what's in store for the double Jeopardy round.
Your seventh Jeopardy category is house painting. She was in her early 80s when she immortalized a Cambridge, New York landmark inn, Checkered House.
Who is Frida Kahlo?
No, that's incorrect. The correct response was who is Grandma Moses. The eighth Jeopardy category is lawyers, law and legality. In most states, for claims against a written contract, 6 years is the statute of fees.
What is limitations?
You're right.
Nice.
Today's ninth Jeopardy category is physics. Give me an A for this branch of physics that deals with the properties of sound.
That's you.
I know, but what is it called?
No, the correct response was what is acoustics.
Yeah,
Our
your
next
turn.
Jeopardy
Your
category
turn.
is Tony Winnie.
Damn. Ooh.
Hugh Jackman
It's bad.
earned a Tony for playing the singer in The Boy from Oz.
Who is Tony Danza?
Of
course not. You think I thought it was that?
The correct response was who is Peter Allen.
You were gonna come up with
The
that?
next category is
Who?
loosely North American geography. Wolf Point is the seat of Roosevelt County in this treasure state.
You got it?
What is?
What is Virginia?
I was gonna
That's
say
not it.
California.
The correct response was what is Montana. Our last category is teen letter words. The response is a word that's 13 to 19 letters long.
Jesus Christ.
Spider-Man comics were instrumental in popularizing the phrase, with great power comes great this.
What is
What a
responsibility?
great phrase.
Yeah, you
Good
did.
job.
All right, let's see how you did on this set.
Cheer up. 5 out of 12 clues isn't so bad. Today must have been really tough. Your score might not seem great, but you ranked in...
Damn, we
I
were
didn't
gonna
want to
rank
hear
that.
it. I didn't want to hear it.
We did great.
I didn't want to hear it. Today must have been tough. Shut up.
She wasn't like.
I felt
thought,
it.
I felt it too. Like, hey, buddy, tell her, fuck her up, all right? You'll be fine.
Today,
Yeah,
it's okay.
today must have been done. It's cold out there,
okay.
huh? Jeez.
Everything's moving a little slow.
Yeah, it is cold.
I don't have too much to talk about for the second half of this.
I like these two though.
Dak's hip game,
Yeah, I like that one.
where he's just like hipping
Yeah.
it out. Hip.
I think.
Hip.
Did you see all the people
Hip.
like making fun of him?
Yeah.
I think those people look like idiots because they like. Okay, it is a funny thing to like warm up or whatever. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Like, did you hear the explanation?
Hold on,
Like he has to roll what?
Well, before you go into explanation, Dak Prescott is a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys,
Yeah.
and his pregame warm up is him basically thrusting his turning his hips. It's just a hip
Popping
turn.
his hip real
Yeah,
quick.
just-
He's just like,
yeah,
bah, bah, bah.
Yeah. So what was his explanation?
I didn't hear that well even from like the Cowboys. or something,
Basically,
but-
it's like to throw without having to push off your back foot. And so, if you're running forward or
Yeah.
you're in your weird spots where you can't always throw off your back foot, you can turn your hips enough to get the torque to throw a
Yeah.
football. And it's not even his warm up.
Of course not.
It's been done. Like Drew Brees does.
I'm
it.
sure they do it maybe like somewhere where they just don't. Is it the first time someone's like where he just
Seen
did it
it.
in front of everybody?
Yeah.
Because like it is a funny move, so I'm assuming maybe they do it like they'll do it before they come out or something.
Yeah.
Because like, but what I just thought was stupid was like the people making fun of him were like these linemen or like they're just these like white guys. Dude, they not that like that's a skill that everybody needs or wants, but like they couldn't do it. So like they were
Yeah.
just making fun of them, and it's like they looked like idiots because
Yeah.
they couldn't like
They weren't actually doing
you
it
need to
correctly.
be able to like, dude. It almost was like if I was a coach, I would have looked at them and been like, damn, I don't know why. I mean, like I thought you were agile, but like if you can't move your hips like that, then maybe you're not as much as an athlete as I thought. Like they looked like garbage when they were making fun of them, maybe on purpose, but yeah, it was. I thought they embarrassed themselves.
So I stole this next segment from another podcast I listened to, but James Harden, there's a calculation saying like whether he plays better or worse in the cities based on their ratings of strip clubs, because James Harden's like notorious lover of strippers. So like what's his points per game or something like that based on the ratings of strip clubs. The question was, what has to be in like a city to where if you're an athlete, what has to be in your city to where you might not play that great? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, what did you have one?
Not ready. I was gonna.
Oh.
Let me. Okay, off the top of my head, like steakhouses, maybe. Like a game, like the day before, like for lunch before the game.
Yeah.
Oh, like we're in New York City tonight. Let me look up a great steak restaurant and just ball out with my bros.
I see what you're saying.
Let me do something not food. What's something I like to do? Movie theater.
The big movie theater at the city.
Yeah, I mean, wow, this movie theaters are much better than the one in the other city. What do you got? Nothing?
I don't know. I think they're all yeah, they're all kind of controversial and shit.
Oh, you can't say strip clubs.
No, dude, I think strip clubs are sad. And I
Let's
was
say that
texting-
for another episode.
Sure, but I was just like, they brought out strip clubs. Like one of my friends was telling me about his most recent strip club.
Have you ever been in a
experience.
strip club?
Yeah, I think like once, maybe twice, but I don't think twice.
So,
It's just sad and like they're dirty and.
hey,
dummy.
we're not gonna put down strippers.
That's fair.
okay?
That's fair. That's not what I was doing.
Damn, I had a joke too. Because they go down by themselves.
What'd you say?
I said we're not gonna put down strippers because they go down by
Oh.
themselves.
That's fair. That's funny.
Sorry, strippers. This is a pro stripper podcast. Wait, maybe not. We're gonna have a stripper episode.
That'd be awesome.
We're like, we have a stripper guest, or we
Yeah.
just talk about strippers.
I think
If we have a
stripper
stripper
guest is
guest,
so interesting.
if you know any strippers that want to be on the podcast, hit me up.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
I feel like we would prepare for that one.
Dude. So much. I would be. Yeah, that's a really great guest.
Let's say, did you have an answer or no? You don't have an answer?
To what? Dude, like a place with a bunch of weed, I guess, would probably
Okay.
would not be great. But now everybody fucking thinks I just smoke weed
No
all
way.
day.
Never seen it.
Just because I have long hair and stuff. No, not true.
You're
But I'm sure I could get into it if I was like
like the best Coke.
Oh, now we're going racial.
No.
That was
No.
racist.
We don't. No.
Just 'cause I'm Colombian? No.
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 What was I gonna say? Anyway, that's been episode 72. What are you doing this weekend?
Nothing fun at all. I think I need to go see a movie. Maybe for Ferrari. I have a.
My dad really wants to go see that.
Yeah, but I don't. Are they overhyping it? You think it's gonna be good?
Yeah, I heard good reviews.
All right, great. I want to see it.
I don't care for cars, so that's my problem.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about it either.
Whatever. My weekend, I'm either going home tomorrow or I'm not. I haven't decided. I probably won't. I just don't want to drive. But I also don't want to go grocery shopping. I'm out of groceries, so
And they got, yeah.
I'm screwed.
You are screwed.
Okay, this has been episode 72. Thank you for listening. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast. Follow me on Twitter at Robs_Gonzo. Follow the podcast on Twitter at Robcity Podcast. Patreon is still up. I need to check that. I don't even know if people are still doing that. But I appreciate it. Patreon.com/Robcity Podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making it this far. Peace.
Peace. Oh, take it easy. Damn it.